Ever find yourself stuck between two choices, unsure of which path to take? Whether it's a major life decision or something as simple as what to eat for dinner, we all struggle with making the right choice. But what if I told you there's a way to make better decisions every time? Today, we're diving into Annie Duke's How to Decide Simple Tools for Making Better Choices. Annie Duke, a former professional poker player and decision-making expert, provides us with a toolkit to improve our decision-making process. So, let's explore the key insights from this powerful book. Before we jump in, let me ask you, what's the toughest decision you've had to make recently? Drop your answer in the comments below and let's see how Annie's strategies could have helped. Section 1. The importance of decision quality. Focus on decision quality, not outcomes. One of the core ideas in Duke's book is that good decision-making is not about the outcome, but about the process. This might sound counterintuitive. After all, we usually judge our decisions by the results they bring. But here's the twist. Outcomes are influenced by factors beyond our control, like luck or chance. Imagine two people deciding whether to invest in a new startup. One does all the research, weighs the pros and cons, and ultimately decides not to invest. The other person, without much thought, invests, and the startup turns out to be a huge success. According to Duke, the first person made a better decision, despite the outcome, because their process was sound. Do you agree with the idea that decision quality is more important than the outcome? Share your thoughts. Section 2. Uncertainty and probability. Next learning is embrace uncertainty. Another crucial lesson from How to Decide is learning to embrace uncertainty. Most decisions aren't black and white. They involve shades of gray, probabilities, and risks. Duke encourages us to get comfortable with uncertainty instead of avoiding it, assigning probabilities to outcomes. One way to do this is by assigning probabilities to different outcomes. For instance, if you're deciding whether to take a job offer instead of asking, "Will this job make me happy?" consider, what's the probability that this job will make me happy in the next year? Think about a time when you had to make a decision with lots of unknowns. How did you handle it? What if you had assigned probabilities to the potential outcomes? Do you think it would have changed your decision? When faced with uncertainty, do you usually go with your gut, or do you try to calculate the risks? Comment below. Section 3. Mental models and decision strategies. Use mental models to improve decision-making. Duke introduces the concept of mental models, frameworks or strategies that can help us simplify complex decisions. One popular model she discusses is the base rate, which involves looking at how often similar situations have led to certain outcomes. We can understand by an example. The base rate model. For example, if you're thinking about starting a business, instead of focusing only on your specific idea, look at the base rate. How many new businesses succeed versus fail? This broader perspective can help you make a more informed decision. What mental models do you use when making decisions? If you haven't used any, which one are you most interested in trying out? Section 4. Decision hacks and tools. Practical tools for decision-making. Duke doesn't just talk about theory. She also provides practical tools to improve your decision-making. One tool she recommends is the pre-mortem, a strategy where you imagine a decision has failed and then work backward to identify what went wrong. We can understand by an application how to use the pre-mortem. Say you're planning to launch a new project at work. Before diving in, do a pre-mortem. Imagine the project flops. What went wrong? Did you miss a critical step? Was the timeline unrealistic? By identifying potential pitfalls ahead of time, you can address them before they become real issues. Have you ever done a pre-mortem for a project or decision? If not, give it a try and share your experience with us. Section 5. Challenging your assumptions. One of the biggest obstacles to good decision-making is our own assumptions. Duke advises us to challenge our beliefs by actively seeking out information that contradicts them. This helps avoid confirmation bias, the tendency to favor information that supports what we already think. The importance of diverse perspectives. Imagine you're hiring someone for a job and you believe that only candidates with certain degrees are qualified. By questioning this assumption, you might open yourself up to candidates with different but equally valuable experiences. What's an assumption you've made recently that turned out to be wrong? How did that realization change your perspective? Section 6. Making decisions with others. Decisions often involve other people, whether it's family, colleagues, or friends. Duke highlights the importance of collective decision-making and offers strategies like red teaming, where someone is assigned to argue against the decision to expose its flaws. Let's understand by a practical tip implementing red teaming. Next time you're in a group setting where a big decision needs to be made, suggest a red teaming session. Assign someone the role of the skeptic to challenge the decision. This can help you see the decision from all angles and avoid groupthink. Have you ever used red teaming in a decision-making process? How did it work out for you? Section 7. Decision tracking and feedback loops. A great way to improve your decision-making over time is to track your decisions and outcomes. Duke suggests keeping a decision journal where you document your choices, the thought process behind them, and the results. Over time, this can help you identify patterns in your thinking. Let's understand by an example. The benefits of a decision journal. Let's say you've been journaling your decisions for a few months. You might notice that you tend to make better choices when you take your time, rather than when you rush. This insight can help you adjust your approach to decision-making in the future. Have you ever tracked your decisions? If so, what patterns have you noticed in your decision-making process? Section 8. Overcoming regret and second-guessing. One of the hardest parts of making decisions is dealing with regret, especially if things don't turn out as expected. Duke advises us to recognize that regret is part of the decision-making process and that it's okay to feel it, but it shouldn't paralyze us. I remember a time when I made a decision that I deeply regretted. But looking back, I realized that I did the best I could with the information I had. Duke's advice helped me understand that regret is normal and can be a valuable learning tool. How do you deal with regret after making a decision? Do you dwell on it or do you use it as a learning experience? So there you have it. Key insights from Annie Duke's How to Decide. From focusing on decision quality to embracing uncertainty, using mental models and dealing with regret, Duke provides a comprehensive guide to making better choices in every area of life. Now I want to challenge you. Pick one tool or strategy from today's video and apply it to a decision you're currently facing. Come back and share how it went in the comments. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. And if there's a book you'd like me to cover next, let me know in the comments below. In the next video, we're going to explore another book that could completely change how you approach life's toughest decisions. Stay tuned.